what is one of your most fondest memories you actually have of Eddie? And of course, do you have any like great stories to share of the late great iconic Eduardo Gory Guerrero?
Oh my goodness. Again, great stories. Eddie was great, especially, we had more fun at house shows than we did at TV because TV is so structured and you have to hit your times and all that sort of thing. It's a little more liberal on house shows. You get to experiment more. I remember one time, uh, it was a tag team match, him and Chavo versus Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. And during the match, I didn't see this happen. This happened behind my back while I was doing my duties in the ring. It was Shelton and Chavo in the ring. Apparently, one of the bolts that holds the turnbuckle in the corner was coming loose. It was like working its way down. So Tony Chimmel was ringing the bell that night at the house show, and he rings it with a wrench, the wrench we used to tighten those bolts, those nuts and bolts. So he gets up there, he starts tightening the nut. It was right in the corner where Eddie was standing. So apparently Eddie says to him, "Chimmel, give me the wrench." What? Give me the wrench. So he takes the wrench and he yells out, "Chavo, bring Shelton over here." So he brings Shelton to the corner like they do. And he says, "Take the ref." So I back Chavo up. Now Eddie hits Shelton with the wrench, which behind my back, I don't see it. Charlie Haas knows enough to feed in. So I go to cut him off because he's in the ring illegally. While this is going on, Eddie passes Chavo the wrench. And Chavo does. I mean, Shelton does the whole. Not Shelton. I'm getting confused here. Charlie does the whole. Go over and check on Eddie. So I go to check Eddie and do the pat down, and I don't find the weapon on him, of course, because he gave it to Chavo. So I go back to Charlie and going. I just checked him out. He doesn't have the weapon. And now Chavo passes it back to Eddie, and he goes, but he gave it to Chavo. So now I go back to him. And I start patting him down, and I keep going back and forth until they get to a point where Chavo slips the wrench in the back of my pants, like it's sticking out, and says, "Don't sell it." Like pretend it's not there, like you don't even notice. So then when I turn around, Charlie picks the wrench out of my back of my pants, and I turn around, I see him with the wrench, and I start giving him crap for having the wrench. You know what I mean? And rip it out of his hand and all this. And it was all called on the fly just because a bolt was coming loose, a nut was coming loose on the corner, and Eddie just creatively made that all up on the fly there. And to this day, I've recently talked to Chavo. We were talking about it, and he just brought it up. We always call it, "Do you remember the wrench?" It was one of those moments that you couldn't, if you had pieced it together in the back and tried to do it out in the ring, it wouldn't have worked as well as it did there, calling it on the fly. And that's what Eddie was brilliant at, calling stuff out there, which is a little bit of a lost art now. Everybody's in the back and they go move for move, and it's a little too choreographed. Eddie liked to play it by ear out there. You'd referee his match. Eddie, what's going on in your match? He'd say, "Well, this is the finish, the frog splash, the finish. What else is there? Oh, we'll call it out there." Okay.